There are things in this world so incredible, we can barely believe in them. And then, there are things we see with our own eyes and cannot explain. It is on the boundary between these two worlds that one of the greatest mysteries of the 20th century played out. A story once classified, known as Project Blue Book. Part 1. The Birth of a Legend. The year is 1947. The world is still recovering from the trauma of a global war. In an era where jet aircraft were just beginning to streak across the sky, strange reports began to emerge. People reported mysterious light phenomena moving at impossible speeds, vanishing and reappearing, with some describing classic flying saucers. One of the first and most explosive cases was in Roswell, New Mexico. The military initially reported the recovery of a flying disc, only to retract the statement hours later, claiming it was a mundane weather balloon. But the seed of public fascination had been planted. The U.S. government, gripped by Cold War paranoia, feared these could be advanced Soviet aircraft or weapons. This led to the creation of official investigations, first Project Sign, then Project Grudge. And in 1952, they were consolidated into the most famous of them all, Project Blue Book. Part 2. The Mission and the Mystery. The official mission of Project Blue Book was straightforward: to scientifically analyze unidentified flying object data, determine if they posed a threat to national security, and explain away the phenomena to a nervous public. It became one of the largest and most public-facing official UFO studies in U.S. history. Every day, reports poured in, from credible sources like commercial pilots, military personnel, and police officers, alongside countless civilian witnesses. Teams of investigators worked to debunk each one. Many were easily explained: weather balloons, atmospheric inversions, the planet Venus, or even secret military tests like the high-altitude U-2 spy plane. But at the heart of the project lay a persistent, unsettling core. Out of over 12,000 investigated cases, approximately 701 remained officially unexplained. These were not vague lights in the distance. These were objects tracked on radar, seen by trained observers, performing maneuvers that defied the known laws of physics. They could stop dead in the air, make instantaneous 90-degree turns, and accelerate to hypersonic speeds without a sonic boom. Part 3. The most puzzling cases. Some cases were so dramatic they challenged the very foundation of the project's skeptical stance. In July 1952, a series of radar visual sightings occurred over Washington, D.C., an event that would become known as the Washington Flap. Unidentified blips swarmed the radar scopes at Washington National Airport and Andrews Air Force Base. Jet interceptors were scrambled, only to have the objects outmaneuver them with ease, fading from radar and reappearing moments later. The incident was so significant it prompted a major press conference, where an Air Force spokesman could offer no definitive explanation, blaming temperature inversions, while privately, pilots and radar operators remained unconvinced. Another compelling case occurred in 1964 in Socorro, New Mexico. Police Sergeant Lonnie Zamora witnessed a landed, egg-shaped object and two small humanoid figures in white coveralls. As he approached, the object roared to life, emitting a blue and orange flame, and ascended silently before speeding away. The physical landing gear impressions left at the site and Zamora's credible testimony made this one of the most solid, yet inexplicable, cases in the entire Blue Book archive. Part 4. The Science and the Secrecy. Project Blue Book was never just a pure scientific inquiry. It was deeply entangled with politics and public perception. In 1953, the CIA convened the Robertson Panel, a group of top scientists. Their conclusion was stark. While UFOs themselves posed no direct physical threat, the very belief in them did. They represented a potential danger to the orderly functioning of the government by clogging communication channels and causing mass hysteria. The panel's secret recommendation was to debunk and demystify UFOs through a public education campaign. The true purpose of Blue Book, for many of its later years, shifted from investigation to public relations, a campaign to explain away sightings, no matter how puzzling. This policy is what fueled the first major conspiracy theories. Was the government not investigating, but covering up? Were they hiding evidence of extraterrestrial contact to prevent societal panic, or perhaps to reverse engineer otherworldly technology in secret? Part 5. The Official End, the Unofficial Beginning. In December 1969, the Air Force announced the termination of Project Blue Book. The official conclusion cited a University of Colorado study, which found no evidence of extraterrestrial visitation and deemed further study unjustified. The case was closed. The files were sent to the National Archives. But the official closure was just the beginning of the legend. For researchers and believers, the 701 unexplained cases were the real story. They argued that Blue Book was a facade, a small, public-facing part of a much larger, deeper, and more secretive investigation that continued in the shadows. The project's own files, once declassified, became a treasure trove for ufologists, filled with credible witness accounts and unsolved mysteries that the official conclusions could not erase. Part 6. The Enduring Question. Project Blue Book is more than a story about flying saucers. It is a story about human curiosity confronting the unknown. It's about the tension between our desire for answers and a government's need to control information. It represents the countless credible witnesses, pilots, officers, engineers, who were dismissed as unreliable or mistaken. The most profound question it leaves us with remains unanswered. Are we truly alone in the vast cosmic ocean? Or has someone, or something, already found us, their presence flickering at the edges of our perception, documented in official files and then dismissed, but never truly explained? Part 7. Final Reflections. So, the next time you look up at a star-filled sky, remember the legacy of Project Blue Book. Remember that the truth is not always what we are told, but what persists in the gaps, in the unexplained reports, and in the unwavering testimony of those who have seen something beyond their understanding. The project reminds us that the sky is not a ceiling, but a window, and the story we have been told may be only the first page of a much longer, more incredible history that is still waiting to be read.